Hey everyone, today is Friday, November 27th. The time is 3:41 p.m. and the temperature right now is 8 degrees Celsius. I'm currently walking west along Lawrence Avenue East, and I'm approaching the intersection of Don Mills Road and Lawrence Avenue. And the plan for this walk is to take a look around at the shops at Don Mills. And I think this neighborhood is referred to as Don Mills. I've really only ever ridden my bike through here. This is my first time ever getting off and exploring this area by foot. It was actually during a live stream I recorded yesterday that someone suggested I come up here and record a video around the shops at Don Mills. Today is Black Friday, which is traditionally a day where US retailers hold a lot of big sales, but in recent years Canadian retailers have jumped on board. Although we are in the middle of a pandemic and the city of Toronto is in what they're calling lockdown status, so the retailers aren't open for customers who would be looking to shop in store. This is Don Mills Road right here. And not too far off to the south of here is the Ontario Science Centre. So right here at the southwest corner of the intersection is the Shops at Don Mills development. It opened in 2009, and it features 72 outdoor retail shops. Well, by outdoor I mean it's not an indoor mall. And it's run by Cadillac Fairview, the same folks behind the Toronto Eaton Centre, as well as Sherway Gardens and Fairview Mall. They also run a lot of large office complexes in the city. That's a look east down Lawrence Avenue. And this area is just to the northeast of what you could call Midtown Toronto. It's not too far from the rather exclusive Bridle Path neighborhood. And this is Carl Fraser Road, which runs down the middle of the shops at Don Mills. I would imagine that normally on Black Friday, this place would be quite the zoo. Only retailers selling what are deemed to be essential goods would be open. There's a GNC, although it doesn't look like they're operating any longer. And a McEwen. And there's a very large parking structure. These stores are allowed to open for curbside pickup. Although it looks like a lot of them haven't even opted to open. Hopefully this copyrighted music doesn't interfere with the video. There's a New Balance store that's not open. Oh, there's someone behind the register. Maybe they are offering curbside pickup and it's just not that busy. There's an Eddie Bauer. And just out to the east there would be Don Mills Road. This is actually my first time ever at the shops at Don Mills, so I couldn't tell you what it would normally be like here, or if there are normally this many vacant retail shops. There's a Bath and Body Works. You could probably guess I'm not a big fan of shopping or going to malls. I'm also not a big fan of this music they're blasting. Aggie Hog Gardens is this street. There's a Franken Oak next to a vacant store, next to a Brooks Brothers. Let's head this way down Aggie Hog Gardens. It's an interesting name. I'm assuming this isn't quite the Black Friday event these retailers had anticipated. Of course, in Canada, the biggest retail event of the year, at least in terms of sales, is actually Boxing Day, which occurs on the 26th of December, right after Christmas. As I mentioned, Black Friday sales are a fairly recent phenomenon in Canada. This is kind of neat. I didn't get a chance to check out the Christmas tree at the Eaton Center. So at least I got to see one somewhat large decorated Christmas tree out in public this year. There's a number of cafes. And a Taylor's Landing. There's a chain of bars. Usually it's someone's name followed by landing. I know there's Kelly's Landing in Toronto. For some reason I wanted to say Knott's Landing. And there's a Joey. They have a restaurant at the Eaton Center as well as Yorkdale Mall. There's a beer market and an izakaya. I would imagine these fences were used for the outdoor dining setups these places would have had. But of course they've been forced to shutter those operations, at least pretty much until the end of December. All right, so this is north up Carl Fraser Road. So I'm now heading in the opposite of direction from the street. It's very possible I'm gonna have to cut all of this audio out anyways with this music. The Good Son restaurant. They would be open for takeout. Let's go out and take a look at this side of the property. So this way we have a Starbucks and a Struck Tube and a very large Chipotle and a Pico. There is looking in the direction of Don Mills and Lawrence, where I started recording this. There's a Panera Bread. I believe their location downtown, located just north of Yonge and Dundas, is closing or has closed. So that is Don Mills Road off in the distance there. And I'd imagine this area here was reserved for patio seating for this Jack Astor's. And here's a Metro supermarket. Community bus stop, Route 403, south of Don Mills. That's only a Monday to Friday bus. I could take the bus southbound to Eglinton, I guess. I took the 54 bus from Eglinton Station to come out here. There's a look inside the supermarket. And I believe that's a public ice rink there. And there's some kind of big development going in. Probably condos, I would guess. Supermarket loading bays. So I was just on the other side of this a few minutes ago. That's the beer market and a place called Mantra. This whole area certainly has a suburban vibe to it. Then again, this is mostly that kind of neighborhood. So I should be able to turn right here and head back up to Lawrence Avenue, and I think that'll be it for this video. That'll be most of this area explored. Not my normal traditional walking style video, but it is Christmas and I thought it would be interesting to see what this area would be like on Black Friday. There's some more condos. And we have a Tim Hortons sighting. So I'm just going to head out here to the Donway West. And I believe on the other side of Don Mills Road, there's a street called the Donway East. And this is called Clock Tower Road. Although I don't see any large clock towers. That would be weird if they called it that and there wasn't a clock tower. This is kind of a neat looking development. So I'm currently walking north, and this should take me back up to Lawrence Avenue. free from the pitfalls of constant Christmas music blasting. Looks like there'll be 34 and 39-story condominiums going up right here. I guess the shops at Don Mills is the major selling point for living in this area. There's a lot of prime retail at your doorstep and some restaurants and a big supermarket and a movie theater. And to be fair, the TTC bus service isn't that bad in these areas. It took about 25 minutes from Eglinton Station to get up here, and that was on the 54 bus. You could also take another bus that goes west along Lawrence Avenue, and that'll cut through the Bridle Path neighborhood and eventually go to Lawrence Station. There's a look inside a parking garage. I usually stop and point the camera towards something interesting when I walk by it, but that's about as interesting as it gets around here, I reckon. Kanji Queen. And the Mathnasium. Not much going on in that LCBO. Those are the provincially run liquor stores. You can get beer there too. They usually have a pretty good selection of beer, but you are limited to 6-packs at the most, or singles. If you want a greater amount, you have to go to the beer store. Also, the LCBO does not accept empties. So now I'm currently walking east along Lawrence Avenue East, and there goes a 54 bus to Eglinton Station. That would be one I want to take. They've got some of their lights on, but not all of them. Or rather, Christmas lights. So now it's back to Don Mills and Lawrence, and I see a bus. That I might want to catch approaching off in the distance there. There's a look north up Don Mills. Here comes the bus. I could pretty much get on any of the TTC buses. One will go, that's the 54, that'll go to Eglinton. And if it stops to let people off, I might have a chance to make it. And that appears to have been the case.
Westbound toward Eglinton Station. Please wear a mask or face covering that might be